someone actually doing both sides of the business. So right now I'm going to show you the activity if you wanted to be a builder and a trader. I'm going to start that right now. I'm not going to talk that much because I'm grinding, turn my music on. And if you're coachable, you'll be doing the same thing. You want to get in your own zone right now. This is when I transform into an animal. You know, I am no longer human right now. That's the good thing. I'm only thinking about my family right now. I'm not thinking about no one else. I'm not thinking about my team right now. I don't even have a team. Okay, is there an extension cord? Yeah, it is right there. So that's it. Thank you. Man, we don't even feel it. All right. So right now we're running a campaign where it's a race to 300 exposures. So, and that's going to get a couple people on this line a flight to Houston, right? Because I'm going to pay for somebody's flight to Houston once they get 300 exposures.
Differently to make money in 2019. You can't just do what everybody else does.
We have 400
go to school,
people of
get
excellence.
good grades, go to college, go get a job, and work and work and work and work and work. And work and work and work and work and work. Until you retire. But 4 of you said die. So you're already programmed to work until you die. Most people do not understand how to make money because it's not taught in school. It's not taught in college. And unless your parents are multi-millionaires, they don't know how to do it either. So I'm going to teach you right now. So you have dreams and goals. Some of you, when you hear the word dreams, you haven't heard that word in 15 years. Because life has smacked you in the face. And somebody along the way told you it's not possible. You don't need that car. You don't need that house. You don't need to make a lot of money. All right, a lot of us have been raised with bad beliefs on money. Now, what I want to share with you is something that will help your life. Whether it's iMarkets Live, or your job, or whatever, okay? Okay, everything begins in our minds. Look around the room. Look around the room. Everything started in the mind of somebody else. This projector, this microphone, your shoes, these drinks, these cameras, everything. The reason why 90% of people fail in everything is because they don't understand the spiritual side of success. There's two sides. Some of you may want to take notes on this because this is worth millions of dollars. Okay? There's two sides of success. The physical side and the spiritual side. The spiritual side is where all the magic happens. Okay? What we think about tends to happen almost every single time. So what I want to share with you is that we have to make sure our thoughts are in alignment what we want. If you think about being broke,
Se você pensa coisas de pessoas quebradas,
if you think about your
se
bills,
você pensa sobre suas contas,
if you think about how much you hate your job, what happens is
sabe o que vai acontecer?
you attract
Você vai atrair
more negativity.
mais coisas desse tipo.
Okay? How many of you understand this so far? Okay? Okay? This is called the law of attraction.
Isso significa a lei da atração. Chama a lei da atração.
It's not religion,
Não é.
it is science.
É ciência.
Okay? If I drop this right here on the table, where does it go?
Se eu jogar esse aquela na mesa, o que vai acontecer?
Right? Down. If I do it again, where does it go?
Se eu fizer de novo, vai acontecer?
Down. Okay? That is called the law of gravity.
Isso se chama lei da gravidade.
The same way this works
Da mesma forma que a lei da gravidade funciona,
is the same way. Is what do you think about? You have to write down your goals like this.
você precisa escrever todos os versos objetivos.
I'm so happy and grateful.
E eu estou muito grato por ter encontrado.
Now that I am. You see, you can't focus on where you are right now.
Você não pode focar no que você está agora.
You can't focus on the little money you have right
Você
now.
não pode focar no pouco dinheiro que você tem.
You have to focus on all of the money that you're going to attract into your life. So number one, our thoughts.
Então, primeira coisa, pensamento.
We have to make sure we're thinking exactly what we want all the time.
Você precisa ter certeza que você está pensando sempre as coisas corretas que você pensa.
When I was 21 years old,
Quando eu estava com 21 anos de idade,
I had no money.
sem dinheiro,
I was broke.
estava quebrado.
But I thought,
Mas o meu pensamento
I'm so happy and grateful.
era sempre feliz, grato,
Now that I am a millionaire
e eu sou milionário.
by 25 years old.
Eu me tornei milionário com 25 anos de idade.
And I wrote it down and I spoke it
E eu falava
over and over and over again.
várias,
Over and over and over again. Our words
as minhas palavras
give life.
acabou se tornando a realidade.
Our words create.
A nossa palavra cria a realidade.
You can look at every good book. They all talk about one thing.
Todos falam uma coisa.
We
Nós
create.
criamos,
We
nós,
are creators.
nós somos criadores.
So that Ferrari you want,
Nossa criação que você quer
it's somewhere in Rio de Janeiro right now.
está em algum lugar do mundo agora.
That house you want
A casa que você quer
is somewhere in Bora Bora right now. It's already here. Now our thoughts
nosso pensamento,
create our feelings.
nosso sentimento,
How we feel.
como a gente sente.
You have to be able to feel
Você precisa estar sentindo
as if you already have what you want.
como se você já estivesse tendo o que você precisa.
You have to be able to feel
Então você vai ter que começar a sentir.
what that feels like. The car I drive today
O carro que eu dirijo hoje
was the screensaver on my phone
estava com a posição de tela
for 4 years.
por 4 anos.
So every day
Então, todo dia
I saw my goal.
eu olhava no meu objetivo.
Every day I saw my goal.
Eu olhava no
Every day I saw my goal.
todo dia.
So our mind thinks in pictures.
Então, a nossa mente pensa em
I'm telling you how to get rich.
Então, eu sou uma como você vai ganhar dinheiro.
Okay? You have to imagine
Você precisa imaginar
exactly what you want
exatamente o que você quer
in your mind.
na sua mente.
When you do that,
Quando você começar a fazer
you
isso,
will feel a certain way.
você vai começar a sentir uma coisa diferente.
And when you feel a certain way,
Quando você começar a sentir uma coisa diferente,
you will then attract
você vai começar a atrair
the right people,
as pessoas certas,
places,
coisas certas,
And
lugares certos,
and opportunities
e oportunidades certas para você
you need to give you what you want.
para conseguir você realmente
The ears,
nosso ouvido.
whatever we hear,
Tudo que a gente escuta
goes where?
vai para onde?
Into our heart. So the next thing you have to do
Então, a próxima coisa que tem que fazer,
is make sure you're listening to the right information. You're reading the right books.
você está lendo os livros corretos.
You're talking to the right people.
Você está conversando com as pessoas certas.
If you hang out with your broke friends
Se você começar a conviver com pessoas quebradas,
who complain about money,
você vai se tornar.
complain about their job,
Você vai acabar perdendo.
or you're in a negative household
Se você tiver um mundo negativo
and it goes in here,
e bom pro seu ouvido,
it's going to get stuck right here.
vai pro seu coração.
So you
Vai ficar ali dentro do seu coração.
So there's something called personal development. If you would spend time with me
Se você perde tempo comigo,
whenever I'm brushing my teeth,
se você não está notando nada,
before I go to bed,
pode dormir,
when I'm working out,
quando
I'm feeding myself positive information because I know whatever goes in is going to get multiplied. Does that make sense? So thoughts, feelings, and then that leads to actions. The energy you give right now in this room. What happens is whatever you give comes back. That's why some of the wealthiest people in this company are always excited. Camila's always fired up and excited because she understands energy creates success. So our thoughts turn into our feelings, and then our feelings turn into our actions, and then our actions turn into our results. Understand? That formula will change your life if you apply it. Hey, whatever you celebrate and you give energy to, you attract. So you don't clap because he's making 30 grand a month. You clap so the universe knows. Hey, I'm ready for 30 grand a month. I'm ready for the same blessings. That's what you're saying when you celebrate other people. Belief plus skills times faith. Faith is believing in something you cannot see yet in the physical world, but you still have to believe it. You have to see it up here, and then you have to feel as if you already have it. And the number one way to have faith is by being grateful now for the goals and dreams of tomorrow. Saying thank you today for the money coming tomorrow. When you're grateful, being anxious, when you're grateful, being angry, scared, cannot exist. It can't exist. So anytime you don't feel so good, stop. Take a deep breath and think about the things in your life that you're grateful for. I've done this for 8 years. I know exactly what we're doing. I promise you, we will create millionaires in Brazil.
Yes,
If you don't want to hold their hand, you don't have to, but at least put your hand on their shoulder, okay?
Yes, let's get it.
Because there's more energy that way. We're all going to get the same energy, okay? And we're going to say thank you 3 times. And on the 4th time, we're going to make the sound of greatness. I want you just to scream at the top of your lungs. As just hit $10,000 a month. So we're going to thank you 3 times. And then we're going to just make the sound of freedom. I want you to imagine your parents are retired. You have your dream car. You have your dream house. All of your debt is paid off. And we have an event in Brazil with 50,000 people in the arena.
I came here to see if she found it.
And you're on stage. And you're on stage, sharing your story and inspiring people. So we're going to say thank you 3 times. And then on the 4th time, we're just going to make the sound of greatness. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Obrigado.
Thank you.
And action.
Chapter 8.
Belief makes things happen.
I have tried to make plain how this power through belief can be developed and to take you up the ladder as far as you wish to go.
Real quick, though.
It is necessary.
Who's keeping up with me?
I'm here.
I see you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I'm here, Chad. It's
I'm
Monica.
here.
He don't need teachers.
Work till in the club round.
Yeah, I can say maybe two of them. Yeah,
You gotta keep up, man. This is how you make
He-
2,000 a month.
he get
You
the
do
thing
this
about it,
every
all
day
of
for 18 months. You'll be there.
He's smart. He passed. He passed the test. He just don't
What's
want
your
to do the
phone number? Hold on, let's mute the line.
He don't do no class work. They said he's Mr. Social. They call him the social butterfly.
Yeah, I love it. Become a social butterfly. Whatever you want to call it. Become a relationship builder. Like whatever you want to call it. Just do it. It's that simple. And I don't respond back because then I don't respond back right away like stop, start, because that's how some of your business is. You started, you're excited 1 minute, then you stop. Right? You just gotta keep going. Right? Right.
Necessary, though, to point out that it is easy to lose one's belief or faith. Thousands have risen to great heights of success only to stumble, roll, or fall to undreamed of depths. Others seeking health have appeared to be more or less miraculously cured, only to find that in later years or even months, there is a recurrence of their ailments. There are many weakening factors and influences, all suggestive in nature, which we, in unguarded moments, allow to slip into our subconscious minds. Once these influences begin their destructive work, they can undo all the good accomplished by our constructive forces. So step out in front, head toward the sun, keep facing it, and the dark shadows will not cross your path. I know that it is difficult for the average person who knows nothing of this subject to accept the idea that all is within. But surely the most materialistic person must realize that as far as he himself is concerned, nothing exists on the outside plane unless he has knowledge of it or unless it becomes fixed in his consciousness. It is the image created in his mind that gives reality to the world outside of him. Happiness sought by many and found by few, therefore matter entirely within ourselves. Our environment and the everyday happenings of life have absolutely no effect on our happiness except as we permit mental images of the outside to enter our consciousness. Happiness is wholly independent of position, wealth, or material possessions. It is a state of mind which we ourselves have the power to control. And that control lies with our thinking. Emerson said, "What is the hardest task in the world? To think." Obviously, this is so when one considers that most of us are victims of mass thinking and feed upon suggestions from others. We all know that the law of cause and effect is inviolable. Yet how many of us ever pause to consider its work?
Yeah.
Hey, is it just me or did the sound go out?
The sound
No,
went
the
off.
sound went out.
Listen to The Magic of Believing by Claude Bristol. It could change the course of your life. Chapter 1: How to Tap the Power of Belief.
Is there a force, a factor, a power, a science, call it what you will, a something which a few people understand and use to overcome their difficulties and achieve outstanding success? I firmly believe that there is. It is my purpose here to attempt to explain it so that you may use it if you desire. I realize I have run across something that is workable, but I don't consider it as anything mystical except in the sense that it is unknown to the majority of people and is little understood by the average person. I am aware that there are forces, powerful forces at work in this country that would dominate us, substituting a kind of regimentation for the competitive system which has made America great among nations. I believe that we must continue to retain the wealth of spirit of our forefathers. If we don't, we shall find ourselves dominated in everything we do by a mighty few. We'll become serfs in fact, if not in name. I hope this work will help develop individual thinking and doing. Some may call me a crackpot or a screwball. I'm well aware of that. Let me say that I am past the half-century mark and have had many years of hard, practical business experience, as well as a goodly number of years as a newspaper man. I started as a police reporter. Police reporters are trained to get the facts and take nothing for granted. Apparently, I was born with a huge bump of curiosity. I've always had an insatiable yearning to seek explanations and answers. This yearning has taken me to many strange places, brought to light many peculiar cases, and has caused me to read every book I could get my hands on, dealing with religions, cults, and both physical and mental sciences. I have read literally thousands of books on modern psychology, metaphysics, ancient magic, voodooism, yogism, theosophy, Christian Science, unity, truth, new thought, and many other dealings. It's what I call mind stuff. Many of these books were nonsensical, others strange, and many very profound. Gradually, I discovered that there is a golden thread that runs through all the teachings and makes them work for those who sincerely accept and apply them. That thread can be named in a single word: belief. It is the same element or factor, belief, which causes people to be cured through mental healing, enables others to climb the ladder of success, and gets phenomenal results for all who accept it. Why belief as a miracle worker is something that cannot be satisfactorily explained, but have no doubt about it. There's genuine magic in believing. The magic of believing became a phrase around which my thoughts steadily revolved. I've tried to put down these thoughts as simply and as clearly as I could, so that everyone can understand. My hope is that anyone who listens will be helped in reaching their goal in life. I would like to start by relating a few experiences of my own life, with the hope that by hearing them, you will gain a better understanding of the entire science. Early in 1918, I landed in France as a casual soldier, unattached to a regular company. As a result, it was several weeks before my service record necessary for my pay caught up with me. During that time, I was without money to buy gum, candy, cigarettes, and the like. Every time I saw a man light a cigarette or chew a stick of gum, the thought came to me that I was without money to spend on myself. Certainly I was eating, and the army clothed me and provided me with a place on the ground to sleep. But I grew bitter because I had no spending money and no way of getting any. One night, en route to the forward area on a crowded troop train, sleep was out of the question. I made up my mind then that when I returned to civilian life, I would have a lot of money. The whole pattern of my life was altered at that moment. I didn't realize it then, that at that moment I was laying the groundwork for a new direction in my life. Groundwork that would unleash forces that would bring accomplishment. As a matter of fact, the idea that I could, with my thinking and believing, develop a fortune never entered my mind. Money is not the only desire you may have. It doesn't matter to what end this science is used, it will be effective in achieving the object of your desires. And in this connection, let me tell another experience. Some years ago, I decided on a trip to the Orient and sailed on a ship called the Empress of Japan. Something was working for me on that trip. I had no claim to anything but ordinary service. However, I sat at the executive officer's table and was frequently his personal guest in his quarters as well as on inspection trips through the ship. Well, naturally, the treatment I received made a great impression on me. And in Honolulu, I often had the thought it would be nice to receive comparable treatment on my journey home on another ship. One afternoon, I got the sudden impulse to leave for the mainland. It was about closing time when I arrived at the ticket agency. I was told that a ship was leaving the next day at noon, and I could get the only remaining cabin ticket. I bought it, and the next day, just a few minutes before noon, I started up the gangplank. In an offhand manner, I said to myself, "They treated you as a king on the Empress of Japan. The least you can do here is sit at the captain's table." "Sure, you'll sit at the captain's table." The ship got underway, and as we steamed out of the harbor, word was received from the dining room steward for passengers to appear in the dining room for assignments to tables. About half the assignments had been made when I came before him. He asked me for my ticket, which I placed on the table. He glanced at it, and then to me, saying, "Oh, yes, table A, seat number 5. It was the captain's table, and I was seated directly across from him. Many things happened aboard that ship which pertained to this subject, the most prominent being a party supposed to be in honor of my birthday. Just an idea of the captain's, because my birthday was months off. In laying before you this very workable science, I am aware that the subject has been handled before from many angles. I am also cognizant that many people shy away from anything that smacks of religion, the occult, or the metaphysical. Accordingly, I am presenting it in the language of a businessman who believes that sincere thinking and plain speaking will get any message across to the people. In using this science, which is given to you with the confident knowledge that no matter how you use it, it will get results, I wish to warn you. Never use it for harmful or evil purposes. Since the beginning of man, there have been two great subtle forces in the world, good and evil. Both are terrifically powerful in their respective scopes and cycles. The basic principle operating both is mind power, massed mind power. Therefore, take great care that you do not misuse the science of mind stuff. I cannot emphasize this too strongly, for if you employ it for harmful or evil purposes, it will boomerang and destroy you, just as it has others down through the centuries. These are not idle words, but solemn words of warning.
Chapter 2. The Power of Thought.
Glance around you. If you are in a furnished room, your eyes tell you that you are looking at a number of inanimate objects. That's true so far as visual perception is concerned, but in reality, you are actually looking at thoughts or ideas which have come into materialization through the creative work of some human being. It was a thought first that created the furniture, fashioned the window glass, and gave form to the draperies and coverings. The automobile, the skyscraper, the great planes that sweep the stratosphere, the sewing machine, the tiny pen, 1,001 things, yes, millions of objects. Where did they come from originally? Only one source. From that strange force, thought. As we look further, We realize that these achievements, and in fact all our possessions, came as a result of creative thinking. Thought is the original source of all wealth, all success, all material gain, all great discoveries, inventions, and of all achievements. With that in mind, it becomes easy to understand that a man's thoughts make or break him, and Shakespeare's words become more intelligible. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Many people feel that success comes with hard work. However, I would like to point out that hard work alone will not bring success. The world is filled with people who have worked hard but have little to show for it. Something more than hard work is necessary. It is creative thinking and firm belief in your ability to execute your ideas. The successful people in history have succeeded through their thinking. Their hands were merely helpers to their brains. Another important point is that one essential to success is that your desire be an all-obsessing one. Your thoughts and aims be coordinated and your energy be concentrated and applied without let-up. It may be riches or fame or position or knowledge that you want, for each person has his own idea of what success means to him. But whatever you consider it to be, you can have it, provided you are willing to make the objective the burning desire of your life. A big order, you say? No, not at all. By using the dynamic force of believing, you can set all your inner forces in motion. They, in turn, will help you reach your goal. Now that you have a clearer idea of the part that thought and desire play in your daily lives, the first thing to determine is precisely what you want. Starting in with the general idea that you merely want to be a success, as most people do, is too indefinite. You must have a mental pattern clearly drawn in your mind. Ask yourself, where am I headed? What is my goal? Have I visualized just what I really want? If success is to be measured in terms of wealth, can you fix the amount in figures? If in terms of achievement, can you specify it definitely? I ask these questions, for in their answers are the factors which will determine your whole life from now on. Strange as it may appear, not 1 out of 100 people can answer these questions. Most people have a general idea that they would like to be a success, but beyond that, everything is vague. They go along from day to day, figuring that if they have a job today, they will have it tomorrow, that somehow they will be looked after in their old age. They are like a cork on the water, floating aimlessly, drawn this way and that by various currents, being washed up on the shore or becoming waterlogged and eventually sinking. Therefore, it is vital that you know what you want out of life. You must know where you are headed, and you must keep a fixed goal in your view. Only then will you get what you are after. So, you begin with desire if you ever hope to achieve anything or gain more than you have now. However, as we shall see, there is more to it than mere desire. It has been said that thought attracts that upon which it is directed. Thought attracts that upon which it is directed. It was Job who said, "For the thing which I greatly feared is come upon me." Our fearful thoughts are just as creative or just as magnetic in attracting troubles to us as are the constructive and positive ones in attracting positive results. So no matter what the character of the thought, it does create after its kind. When this sinks into a man's consciousness, he gets some inkling of the awe-inspiring power which is his to use. I cling to the theory that while thoughts do create and exercise control far beyond any limits yet known to man, they create only according to their pitch, intensity, emotional quality, depth of feeling, or vibratory plane. In other words, comparable to the wavelength and wattage of a radio station, thoughts have a creative or controlling force in the exact ratio of their constancy, intensity, and power. kind of electricity can be developed through the body.
A lot of traffic. 20 minutes.
Sigmund Freud, the famous Austrian psychoanalyst, brought the world's attention to the hypothesis that there was a powerful force within us, an unilluminated part of the mind, separate from the conscious mind, constantly at work molding our thoughts, feelings, and actions. Others have called this division of our mental existence the soul. Some call it the superego, power, superconsciousness, the unconscious.
Coach, you over there cooking, bro.
Come on, Foxy. Yeah, I bet your stomach is sore up. Eating my vegetable lasagna. Come here, Kingston. Act like you want to limp now. Let's go.
Yo, some toilet tissue though.
Thank you for watching. For more videos on how to be, do, and have everything in life you desire.
All right, so team, we're approaching the 45-minute mark where we just literally flat out grinded, lost count of how many people we touched. But I wanted y'all to see that's how you set yourself on fire. Now, the reason why I'm so excited to be doing that is because I understand the internet. And when you understand the internet, you know that people's now going to look at your page. Once you go in their inbox, they're going to now look at your page, right? So what do I have on my page? The reason why I always do a Facebook Live first before I go crazy, because I want people to look at my page. And look, right now, so the traffic we got in 3 hours, we got about 400 views. So that's about 100. That's about 100 people looking at this video per hour. So if I keep on setting myself on fire, keep on inboxing people, they're going to keep looking at this video. And I already strategically set up this video through my content. I already knew what I wanted to say through my content right here, right? Because everything's a plan that I'm inviting them to my 9 p.m. call, which is in 3 hours. So I did that right now. So now that I'm done prospecting, now that I entered some trades, you know, and now that baby girl's home, right? We're gonna go over homework because it's a balanced life. We put the work in. After the homework, we're gonna go to the gym, right? And then after the gym, we're gonna do our 9 o'clock call and secure the bag. So having a plan is super important. Sticking to your calendar is super important. You can do this. Everybody can do this. Everybody has time to build and trade. So with that being said, I'll take 2-3 questions. Does anybody have any questions?
Hey, Chad, this is Terry.